Whipping all this dope up in the trap house. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. It don't mean that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trapper.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Chief. They are getting mad confusing with this switch up for Boruto. Let's keep it a buck. I love Boruto. I watch Boruto all the time, you know what I'm saying? I got used to the Thursday shit. Like, I was one of those people that was expecting shit to go down on a Thursday. I was like, okay, you know, it's Thursday, Boruto's gonna start dropping some content, you know what I'm saying? Then I realized, you know, it doesn't come out on Thursday anymore. Then I kind of forgot that it comes out on Sunday. And now I'm here, and I got people with my mentions like, yo, I thought you was back on your Boruto grind. I thought you was back to upload other different types of videos too. You know, what's going on? Today, Boruto dropped, and you ain't do nothing about it. And I didn't realize that because I haven't really been on Twitter as much until like recently, which was probably like an hour ago. So I sat there, I made the thumbnail, I watched the episode, you know what I'm saying? Well, I made the thumbnail after I watched the episode, and we got some pretty juicy insight as well as some information on what's going on with my boy Mitsuki, and it gives a little bit of more of an insight to why he's leaving the village, why he's looking for this answer, quote unquote. Like, I don't really know if this answer is really gonna be what Mitsuki is looking for, but maybe it'll give him some type of idea of the path that he wants to search for, because you guys know the biggest like vendetta for Mitsuki was, what is his will? Why is it his will? Was his will only installed into him by Orochimaru due to like some parent like child type of shit, and you know, it was kind of forced upon him? So he wants to figure out is if this is really what he wants to do or not, you know what I'm saying? So my boy Mitsuki is, you know, obviously leaving with these stone ninjas. They're basically dipping. I'm trying to remember their names, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm not even gonna like go back and try to tell you their name, because it's one of those things where you get these characters and like they're not so rememberable for me to like be like, hey, well, I remember this character. Like when Ryogi appeared, I was like, okay, Ryogi was tight. Like I like that character. Like so far what we got with these hidden stone ninjas, you know, it just kind of gives me like this bootleg Ninja 4 Sound Ninja 4 type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like when we saw the Sound Ninjas, like we were like, okay, damn, Kidomaru Tai, like they were putting in work, you know, versus like, you know, we have two that's kind of with Mitsuki, and then we have another two that's supposed to be in the land of stone, you know, reporting to their master, which would be Lord Ku. And it's kind of crazy, like I just heard about Lord Ku's name today, and I kind of remember his name way more than theirs. Not to mention I'm more so curious about his character than I am with those four, you know what I mean? It's like I get, you know, that they are out here doing different things, and then we seen like detonating clay being rebought into the series, so that was something that we saw with Deidara, however you want to pronounce it. That was one of those things where we saw that, you know, so it was like, okay, we got some nostalgia in it. Not to mention Naruto mentioned that, and then we figured out, hey, well, at least we know this is one of the stones people doing this, the land of Urge doing, because this is one of their forbidden jutsus and shit like that. So it's like, all right, you know, I get that, but like outside of that, there wasn't nothing that was really like detrimental to their character. They still have a lot of ways of going to make me feel like some type of intrigueness to these characters, like make me intrigued by them, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like we're gonna see Boruto and them fight against one of the stone ninjas, the one that's his name's spelled with like K, is like Kokuyu or some shit like that. He seems to be like the merciless one. He doesn't really have much of a personality, more so I want to get that job done type of vibe, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see Boruto fight against him. Maybe this is gonna be the more impactful moment, because we see at the end of this episode, we see Boruto, Sarada, and Shikadai pull up, and you know, he's the only one there. He was fighting against the Leaf Ninja. Mind you, he's taking out a lot of high level Jonin Leaf Ninjas, so it's like, okay, this man has to be powerful. Not to mention he killed the Akuta, which is supposed to be like this replica of White Zetsu in a sense, you know, it's kind of like the Stones version of that, and they basically have this mask, and I feel like once you shatter the mask, you know, it's over for them, and it kind of gives me like a bootleg Hollow vibe. Like I'm not even trying to like bash on Boruto, because I love Boruto for what it brought to the series and what they do, but right now I'm just getting like this bootleg Hollow form just running around the world, because when I first saw it I was like, okay, you know, maybe that's just like a summoning, or maybe that's just like for one person, but then like Lord Ku had summoned like a whole bunch of them shits, and then not to mention, you know, the boy that I was saying that was merciless, Koyoko or some shit like that, he seems like more brutal, you know what I'm saying? He seems like he doesn't really give a shit about it, so that means they're expendable, and it's not something that's really like unique to just like one character, because when Lord Ku popped up, this man like summoned a whole bunch of them. So I'm looking at this shit like, all right, we got a bootleg Hollow thing going on here, you know what I'm saying? great value white Zetsus and shit, essentially. And then it comes to find out that, like, you know, the stone ninja that are like trying to get Mitsuki to come back to the village for Lord Ku is essentially creations of Lord Ku. They're like experimental humans, just like Mitsuki, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where we seen Seikei, who, that's who I'm really more interested in. Like Seikei, he essentially says, you know, hey, you know, you're gonna be the person that helps us be able to find our humanness, you know, you're gonna help us become human, you know, because like right now we don't know what's going on, we fail to exist. So like they're gonna start to develop their own emotions through Mitsuki, so to say. But if we look at Seikei is a very vibrant character in terms of like happiness. You know, he obviously has his own vendettas and agenda and how he has his will for Lord Ku due to the fact that Lord Ku created him. But it seems like this character also like expresses himself a lot compared to the other ones. You know, he's always laughing, he's always like giddy, you know what I'm saying, he's always cracking jokes, not to mention you know, he wants to interact with Mitsuki. He even tries to do the fist bumps, which I thought was really weird because I expected a flashback of Boruto in Mitsuki's head. Like I expected him to like see a silhouette of Boruto pop over Seikei when he did that, but like it was one of those things where it didn't happen. But even then you see like he has like a type of humanness, and maybe it's like the Sai routine, maybe he just developed it over time and he was just like, okay, this is how humans interact with it, so I'm gonna just act like I'm human. And then maybe he developed that. But he seems very go-lucky, and not to mention he drew his house, so it seems like they're adultish in terms of body, but they still have like a kid mentality because, you know, they're creations, so they still developing, if that makes sense. You know, you could be created and born into a body that's fully grown, but if you still have the mind of an infant, you're still going to act like an infant. And so I feel like he still has the mind of the child, and that's why he's still acting a bit kiddish, because he drew his house with stick figures, which was weird. And then he told Mitsuki, you know, once you cross the line into the hidden the land of the earth, you know, you're essentially going to be betraying the Leaf Village and shit like that, and you'll be able to come to my house and, like, you know, just like on some like let's hang out with my friends type of shit. So I was just looking at that like this is a bit odd, you know. Not to mention, like, we see Lord Ku wanting my boy Mitsuki more so for his experimentation. So it's gonna be one of those things where we may see Seikei do a sacrifice in the future, because that's what it seems like it's foreshadowing. And then Lord Ku is gonna be like, you guys are just my pawns, you guys are just my puppets. I'm only using you guys solely so I can achieve this goal of, you know, enhancing my experiments, making better experiments. You know, they even brought up Lord Orochimaru. They talk about how Orochimaru experiment was on the way, and I feel like that was probably the biggest thing that had them going after Mitsuki. You know, in the black market world, you know, there's all type of information going around. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have when that Orochimaru created a lot of different versions of Mitsuki, and they probably wanted the more perfect one, which will be the one that was located in the Leaf Village. Now obviously, due to the genjutsu that Yurito was put underneath, he was the only person that was able to get that intel, you know what I'm saying? And so that was easy for Lord Ku to get it, you know. And now, like, he was able to, like, essentially give that information to Lord Ku so he can just kind of do what he want as he please with it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking to myself, like, what is his alternative objective, you know? Because right now it seems like he's kind of selling these creations a dream, and it's really dope to see Mitsuki interacting with other, you know, experimental humans, synthetic humans in a way. I feel like Mitsuki is more a human than they are, in a sense, because the way Orochimaru like engineered him, and not to mention the way Orochimaru let him make his own decisions. You know, Orochimaru kind of always give him a one or the other type of question, so he is the person deciding. He was like, you know, well, if you use this, you're gonna get kicked out the village. It's up to you. You know, you can use it if you want to, but it's like, you know, just know there's a repercussion for your action, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if he used the stage mode, he get kicked out. Then he realized Boruto was more important to him than staying in the village, so he wanted to protect Boruto during the Otsutsuki invasion, and you saw him try to activate that. So we see like Mitsuki obviously making his own decisions versus, you know, we see these 4 experiments kind of working more so under Lord Ku and what he wishes for, and not necessarily their own objectives. So it seems like my boy Mitsuki may have a little bit more will of his own and a more mental stability, and I think that's probably why he's questioning his will now, you know what I'm saying? He's probably trying to figure out what path does he want to go on, and that's why, you know, when the snake says when it does the flashback, it says, you know, the answers you seek will be in the land of Earth. You know, you'll find your answers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they took advantage of Mitsuki's weakness. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like Lord Ku is probably gonna put him under the assumption that he's just a tool, and then maybe he's gonna start to think like that and be like, oh well, you know, you guys don't really care for me. I was only created just so I can serve this purpose as a tool. And then maybe Boruto's gonna talk no jutsu him back into that. But overall, this episode was a lot of more so investigating on the behalf of the Lee Village, sending out trackers, not to mention Boruto and Sarada and them playing catch up, trying to catch up to, you know, Seikei and the group with Mitsuki, and then not to mention exchange between the Hokage and the Tsuchikage, talking about what's actually taking place. So it was more like some politics, but also some tracking. Not to mention, you know, we had Shikadai sending back Chocho and Inogen, essentially letting them know, hey, if you guys let the Lee Village know, our fathers will know, hey, this is in good hands. I don't have to worry about it. I mean, clearly they still gonna send back up, and that's kind of what Naruto wanted to do. He was gonna send some Leaf Ninjas on the frontal lines for an attack, but you know, clearly the Tsuchikage, she was like, nah, I'm not having that. I'm not going off of your assumptions, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't necessarily an assumption. It was just more so like she didn't have any evidence. She needed some like proof. She needed like a hidden stone body or some shit like that to like validate it, you know? But overall, it was a solid episode. I feel like after the episode that's coming up next week on Sunday, it'll be more build up and it'll be more of an interesting story to start to watch, because like right now it's kind of like catching up to what they've left out, you know what I mean? It's kind of like giving a little bit of insight to like the 4 ninjas that are after Mitsuki and what's their purpose. Their objective is a little bit different compared to, you know, the Sound Ninja 4, but it's still a little bit similar. It's kind of like Mitsuki's the vessel, but not for the sole purpose of, you know, Lord Ku to take his body, but more so for Lord Ku to like make the Okuda a little bit stronger and like, you know, his own experimental like objectives and shit like that. So we'll see how that plays out in the next episode, I guess. Let me know your personal thoughts and personal opinions on this review. Let me know how you felt about episode 78. And with that being said, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel, subscribe for daily content. And with that being said, finally, my name is Shingo Bencho. Stay true and stay real. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye, Z.